Hi, in this video we're going to talk about how to increase your Amazon business profits. Okay, so the most obvious way obviously is to just try a higher price. So if you're selling your item for $20, you could increase the price to $22, $25 and see what happens. I found with some products increasing the price increased sales. So before we were selling 1,000 units, then we're selling 1,200, even though we increased the price from $20 to $25. So not only are we selling more, but per unit we're making more. So overall we made a lot more money on those products. Other products where we've increased the price, the sales number went down. So maybe we're selling 1,000 units a month, then we went down to 800 units a month, but the price has gone from $20 to $25, so we're getting an extra $5 a unit, which more than makes up for the $200 units less we're selling a month. So you don't know until you try which price and which quantities gives your product the most profit overall. I don't recommend doing this with new products or in your first 12 months of a product. Why? Because you're just growing and stabilizing at that point. But once a product is more stable, once you've kind of reached a plateau where you're not really growing, you're not really shrinking, it kind of seems to stay the same, then you can test things like this out. But in your first 6 months, you should just be thinking about not profit, but actually growing sales of the item. And then later you can think about optimizing profit. So this is really for more stable products. Okay, so what else can you do to increase the profits of your business? Improve your listings. This has many different effects. So let's say I have a listing now and then I do better product photos, better copywriting. It feels like a better item just because of better photographs. I mean, if I take a picture of my keyboard in front of me with my iPhone and a professional photographer takes a picture of my keyboard, one's going to look 10 times better than the other. One's going to make it look worth 10 times more than the other. So simply by improving your image listing, your listing images, your listing text, your A+ content, and the listing overall, you can increase the perceived value of the product, which could A, justify a higher price. You don't necessarily have to increase the price. B, what might happen instead is that more people click onto your listing because the product looks better. And what else could happen is your conversion rate increases, so you sell more too. So it is a way of increasing your profit just by simply improving the listing. And you can register for brand registry, get that A+ content, and further enhance it as well. We found our conversion rates are now 40, 50, 60% for our key products as a result of the A+ content and optimizing over time. So that's another simple way to improve your profits for your business too. You might be overpaying for your item from your supplier. So you might have found a supplier, got the product, and it's been a couple of years you've been ordering from the same supplier and the price hasn't really changed and you haven't really gone back to the market to see, are we getting the best value for this? I understand the concern of switching supplier when everything's successful, and I don't recommend doing that. If everything is going well, you don't really want to switch out to another supplier, unless of course you find that you've got another very good option for a supplier and there's a big enough price difference. So what you could do is, let's say you're ordering 10,000 units from your main supplier, you reduce that order to 9,000 units and you get 1,000 units from the other supplier, and you try and see if their quality is the same, if they can supply it. You just start slow and build up over time. This is better to do before you actually launch the product, is to spend more time looking for suppliers then. Rather than contacting 10 suppliers, contact everyone on Alibaba, everyone on global sources that can potentially supply your item, and get all of the quotes then at the beginning. Because then you have more choice, more suppliers, more options, more quality, more samples, and more chance of finding the best value overall. Yes, you can reduce the price with your existing supplier too. So what you can go back to them is say, okay, so before we were ordering 5,000 every 6 months, now we're ordering 10,000 every 6 months. We want a reduction in price. And normally they won't give you much, but if you push and you have a good enough relationship, you should be able to get a discount that way too. Boom, instantly increasing your profits. The other thing you can do, which is similar to what I just mentioned, is to actually bulk buy the product. So we were shipping by container and we calculated that if we double or triple our order size, so we're holding a lot more inventory. We've reduced the price of the product so much that it made sense to do that. So we were, instead of just putting out $20,000-$30,000 per order with our supplier, we had a lot more capital tied up, maybe $50,000-$60,000. But because we reduced our product costs, shipping costs, transport costs, everything in the actual overall per unit price, it made sense for us to do that, and we were able to undercut our competitors and get the #1 choice and the Amazon choice badge as well, the #1 spot. It may or may not make sense to buy a lot more inventory for you, especially since storing the inventory is going to cost money as well. Before, with Amazon, we could ship directly from China into Amazon with about 6 months of stock, and it'd be fine. Whereas now you have to have a third-party warehouse provider, and it's a little bit more complicated. The more stock you have, the more it's going to cost. Yes, Amazon also charge, but the way it worked out for us was that the overall cost increase in inventory storage was still less than the per unit saving that we made by bulk buying. But what you can do is just see, if you're ordering 2,000 units, but at 2,500 units there's a price discount. There's no reason why you can't ask your supplier, when is the next price break? You might save 5, 6, 7, 8% just by increasing your order slightly and not really going that much more than you're buying at the moment too. Another great thing to do is simply to go through all your main business expenses. So top down, where you're spending the most money. If it's Amazon PPC and you're spending $30,000 a year on Amazon PPC, boom, there's your quickest way to increase your profits, is to reduce the cost of that particular expense. And you may have done some analysis on that, you may have done some optimization on your PPC, but what if you really had to cut the cost in half but keep the same results? What could you do? I mean, there's always 20-30% more optimization you can do every time, even if you just optimize last week. I go back to my PPC and I find that I did all these changes, but look, these ads are still just burning money and these ads are performing well. There's always stuff you can do. Maybe you find your freight costs are really expensive. Maybe you find your outsourcing costs for Upwork or freelancers are expensive. Whatever it is, if you go down your list of expenses from top to bottom, you'll see where you're spending the most money and find ways to save on that cash. And even if your business is performing well, I recommend doing this periodically because it will just keep your business lean and trim. So, I mean, we cut down a lot of our expenses. I found I was subscribed to lots of different softwares I didn't really need, and all of these different costs add up, and especially the software. And we were using freelancers to do things, lots of marketing things which weren't really performing. Instagram promotions, some of them performed, some of them didn't perform. So by cutting down some of these costs, we actually shaved quite a lot of expenses, and boom, our bottom line increased overnight almost. What else can you do to increase your profitability? Well, it comes down to your off-Amazon marketing. If someone's searching on Amazon, finds your product, buys it, and they're comparing it to all the other items, then you're kind of limited into how much you can increase the price. You can't really be selling at $40 if everyone else is $20 if a customer doesn't know you. But what if that customer has signed up to your blog, they're reading about you, reading out your products, they're reading about how your company cares about the industry, or let's say you're selling hiking products, you're telling a story with every newsletter, you're building a relationship with a customer, and then you launch a new product. Let's say it's an amazing new piece of hiking accessory for camping. Boom, you can charge higher. Why? Because you've got a list of people who are your audience, who are emotionally invested in their hobby, their interest, who have been following you, who can now also buy this product from you and you alone, really, in their mind. So even though it's on Amazon, they might be clicking a link from your email to go and buy the product that you're recommending directly without searching all the other products. So it's very powerful. Even 1,000 customers on your own email list versus having to fight every other Amazon product for someone that searches the keyword for, hiking accessory or whatever it is that your niche is. So the more you can build a list off Amazon, the more you can build your own customer base, as well as of course, competing on Amazon, then potentially you can charge more for that product. You'll convert more of those people and lead to higher profits as well. And your launches will be faster, your reviews will be faster. So it's not just about profit. But in the long run, your business will also be worth more because you're not 100% reliant on Amazon itself. Yes, maybe your fulfillment's there now, your inventory's there now. I'm not saying you should move off their platform, but imagine you had an email list of 50,000 people in your niche, and next week you launch a new product. It doesn't matter if you're charging $10 more than everyone else because they're going to buy your one because that list is your list. So that's another strategy you can use to improve your profits. So profit's not just about cutting costs. It's also about increasing the value people receive, building the connection with people, having your own list, doing the work up front to reduce the cost of suppliers instead of trying to then later squeeze out more margin. I found that putting in the extra hours in the sourcing phase, really hammering down the price and making sure you've got a good 2-3 times markup before even launching the product, that's where the real savings are, is all these other things. And then listing optimization gives you additional sales and conversions from the same traffic that you're already getting too. Are you looking to grow your Amazon business? Zillionaire is the best Amazon metrics software. It has dozens of great features, including real-time profit and loss, inventory management, Amazon PPC ad optimization, custom dashboards, and much, much more. Head on over to zillionaire.com and sign up today. The link is in the description below.